All right, welcome everyone. We're Semblance of Sanity. I'm Caleb.
I'm Jacob.
And we're here for Hajime no Ippo, Season 2, Episode 15. All right.
Ryan Hawk.
Yes, we have the stage set for a World Championship defending match that Takamura... Sorry,
Whoa.
title match. Title match.
Yeah, right.
Yeah,
He's
Takamura is challenging the defender.
But,
right.
But the thing is that he's playing a bit dirty because, one, he's doing the whole thing of, 2 months after another match, and Takamura's going to have to go down even further because this guy is in a weight class below where Takamura normally fights,
Usually
which is not at all where he should be fighting.
Right.
Yeah.
But here we are. Takamura, been getting a bit of focus. They gave a little bit of stuff to the idea of how much, things are tied to his ego in a lot of ways with the way the things went into the little beach mini arc of sorts. And he's a bit rattled. He's going to be coming into this fight very much the underdog, coming into it with a lot of things stacked against him. And we haven't seen Takamura have to struggle on that level in an actual boxing match before.
Right.
It's usually in areas that are more social or more just kind of being
anything
basically
else.
decent in terms of how to treat women. But that is just one angle on where the story is taking us, because then there's the other stuff with Itagaki and Imai, who is now a new rival for the Kohai of Makunouchi, but he's also good enough to where he could become
a challenger,
someone that would challenge Ippo,
which is kind of insane to think about.
So yeah, like he might not have the instincts of Itagaki, but the actual raw skill and physicality is something something that he has. And he reminds me in a lot of ways of a lot of the things that made Ippo great as a boxer, but with a couple things resolved within the personality kind of internal stuff.
Yes.
So he's no longer
he definitely has
in that conflicted stage that Ippo dwelled in for quite a bit of his early boxing career.
Yep. So what direction are they going to take with this episode? Is it going to be more of the Brian Hawk stuff? Is it going to be the MI stuff? Who knows?
I think it's going to be more of the Brian Hawk stuff, because it's going to be Takamura trying to figure out how to keep himself in check with regards to his weight loss.
And still be in some semblance of fighting condition.
Right. Yeah.
Yeah.
And we're going to be cheering him on, but it's probably not going to be too great. But if Takamura can get himself to the weigh-in and actually make it in, I would love to see a many round match.
Oh yeah,
where even if he loses,
multiple episodes and I
can't wait for that. So y'all, without further ado, let's get into this.
For a while.
Yeah, that's the only one really left then.
Yep.
The two of them throwing down. All the others are things that, now that we've had the stuff with Date, they're already covered for,
And given how intense the Date versus Ricardo match was.
Okay. This is the rookie thing, yeah. Okay. The date's locked in. Okay. Okay. Nice. Setting up quite a few fights here.
なんだかんだでこのジムはあの人に引っ張られてるからな。仕事じゃないよ、一歩くん。12月の高村くんのセミファイナルで君もやるんだ。
Oh man. Okay.
高村くんたっての希望で両国国技館。
Okay.
あれで男気があるから。伊達英二の夢が散った場所で代わりに無念を晴らす気。
Oh, dang. That's awesome.
All right.
Ha ha! We've never seen Yagi actually, like, get that intense with them there.
試合はないんだよ。
Oh.
俺
How's it going, Fuji?
トイレじゃよ。おやつ最近長くての。入ってね。
Oh my god.
He's terrified because of the
His face in the
Right.
carapace. Oh my god.
Wow. That's wonderful.
もナーバスになってるようだね。俺様がナーバスだと？ふざけんな。知ってんのはチャンピオンの方じゃねえのか。管理の難しい選手らしくてね。
Oh, like you.
正確で練習している姿。
Oh shoot, what?
All right.
逆に試合1週間前でないと連絡もつかないそうだ。練習以来で有名なチャンピオンだからな。
だって
Holy crap.
って生まれた才能だけで勝つ。
世界には稀にいるそういう選手。
Or maybe he's just constantly training, like
さすがにしたらしい。
Why would you doubt the thing of what they're saying though? If
Yeah,
he's
that's a
like
good point.
just like they study these people.
only 9 days.
Yeah. Oh my god.
女とベッドで過ごす時間の方が長い。
See, he's totally Takamura. That's the thing.
Yeah. Yeah, okay.
当たりなんじゃ。
ジュニアミドル級で挫折なくベルトを取った男だから。
Oh,
Without a
good to
scratch?
know.
しかし今回の相手は人類。
Yeah, little Hakun.
Wow.
例によって連絡がつかないそうだ。
Oh.
ちょっと待てよ。試合のことは知ってんだろうな。さすがにそれは伝えてある。しかし相手が日本人だと言った途端電話は切れた。
Oh.
行方不明らしい。
Oh no, what if he's on his way? Oh.
Holy shit.
日本人
Oh my god.
中重量級はアメリカの独占市場だ。日本人が彼に疲れてもおかしくはねえな。
練習もしねえ挑戦者の名前も知らねえ。舐めすぎだぜチキショー。
It's just insulting. Like, just
Yeah.
absolutely insulting.
Oh, Takamura's pissed.
熱くなるな高村。まずは目の前の前哨戦じゃ。分かってるって。奴が練習
Not showing his face still.
Yep.
Oh.
All right.
This is a new track also for like building up an Ippo, like a Hajime no Ippo fight. Oh my god, Takura.
Oh my god.
Oh. Hey, he's getting laid though.
Oh, that's...
Wait, that was Takamura, yeah?
Yeah.
Wow.
That's cool.
Vengeance, an angel of vengeance.
Uh-huh.
木村さん緊張しちゃってんですか。おいおいベテランしっかりしてくれよ。
久々の試合だからな。名前もカタカナの達也に変えて気持ちはデビュー戦なんだよ。しっかりやってこいよ。高村さんの花を添えるんだぜ。
そのつもりはあるんですけどね。僕にも目指すものがありますから。あくまで自分のためにリング。
Right.
Awesome.
Yep. Okay, 4 rounds. Okay.
応援寂しいだろうし、でけえ声で学ぶって叫んで。
Yeah.
はい。
板垣学
せーの。
Wow. Wow. He's
This
such a
guy
favorite
is
with the ladies.
Such a hugely popular boxer. Oh my god.
牧野文人。
なんだか地味なやつが出てきたな。
And he just gets some claps. You know?
2戦して2敗。まだ勝ちが。
Oh.
Oh.
どう思うチャンピオン。
Oh. He's like, oh right, I'm the champion. Yeah.
デビュー戦ですからね。しまった顔しています。でも決して硬くなってないです。
が何でも勝ちが欲しいという顔だな。お前の評判は相手の承知だ。
中に閉じ込められてるみたいだ。これがプロ。
I like this track.
Oh.
まずは一発目を避けよう。それで今日の自分の調子がわかる。
Okay. Let's go. Alright, that's the halfway point. Sweet, sweet. He's rushing in. Oh, whoa, whoa! You're on fire, Itagaki! Wow! Oh my god!
Wow.
Oh my god!
Wow. All right.
Oh my god, he's... Yeah. Wow. Yeah, I was saying, like, you're gonna get a very easy opportunity for a counter. It's just a question of how good is your counter, Itagaki, you know?
Yeah, the amount of build up into it is worrying. Right, it's because he's 2 matches and 2 losses. If he loses this one, he's probably,
He's probably done. Yep.
Yeah.
Yep. Oh! Oh, that's dirty! That's dirty! Oh! Oh!
Wow.
Jeez. Yeah.
このダウンは深刻だぜ。アマチュア上がりの綺麗なボクサーがラフファイトに潰される典型だぜ。
Oh.
4回戦は2ノックダウン制だ。
Oh. Oh my god, there is? Holy crap.
回り道なんかできないんだ。
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
Oh my god.
Jesus.
ストップ。試合終了。
Wow.
バカな。まだ。なんだよ、負けたことを認めねえってのか。
Wow.
That sucks.
Wow. Holy crap. Just because also this is more of a like a staged performance as well, in that they don't want to have anything that's off schedule or doesn't work with the flow. Just because, you know, yeah, who are these boxers? Who cares? Wow.
ところか罵声浴びて退場だなんて。
Yeah.
役のデビューになっちまった。板垣君。
That seriously
Oh.
sucks.
Buddy.
行ってきます。あたんマスマトやってくれ。
Haha, yeah. The crowd knows what we want to, you know. Oh. Yeah. Oh my god, I would be so angry. Like,
Yep.
パンチも見えていた。
yeah.
テレフォンパンチ、僕には当たらない。当たったのは頭と肘。
Yep.
反則じゃないか。
Yep. Yeah, we saw that. I like that we finally had a point in the story where the cheating, like, really worked.
先輩には分かったでしょ。あれは反則だ。ボクシングをやった気がしないよ。なんだよこれ。
Yeah.
なんで。
Yeah, let it all out, buddy. Yeah.
僕の負けなんだ。きっと何か負けられない理由があったんだ。だから反則しても勝てばいいんです。反則じゃ。
Oh.
止めなかった。
So it wasn't a foul.
かもしれないし、本当に気づかなかったのかもしれない。
Oh.
試合続行中に。
Oh.
Yeah, that's the fact of the matter. Like,
Yeah.
君が悪い。
Holy crap. Ippo.
必死になっていたらバッティングの後も打ち返していたはずだよ。もともと何があるのかわからないのがプロのリングだし、もうたくさんだ。先輩は僕の味方だと思ってた。何がプロのリングだ。もっと早く伝えてほしい。
Jeez.
知らない。あの海のスパーで気がついていた。
Oh.
oh.
技術も申し分ない。だけど背筋の凍るようなパンチは一つもなかった。
Oh. Yeah.
Huh.
Yeah. I noticed that more in this match, if anything.
おお、どうした板垣は。走って出て行っちゃいました。僕がきついこと言っちゃって。次、10ラウンドだ。
Wow, it's moving quick.
ずいぶん時間かかって。あ、
How about the other guy?
Yeah, for the 10th round, that doesn't seem too bad.
We haven't seen his opponent yet, though.
Mm-hmm. Maybe it's just not important. Oh!
Oh my god!
And now it's like, what is this?
Yeah.
Like funny background track.
Wait, so it's more of like a comedy match than like a... Yeah, jab every once in a while. Kimura could lose then.
Yeah. Is it a tie?
Oh, watch it be a tie, yeah.
Okay. Oh. Oh.
This is a bad omen.
Mm-hmm.
Being distracted in the match. People thinking about future matches. Okay. But this is Takamura in that weight. Yeah. Oh, you know what I'm actually worried about?
Is that when we see him, we'll see just how, like...
Yeah. Yeah, he's so slow about it. Oh my god. Yeah. Oh my gosh.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, that hurts to look at. Yeah. Oh my god. Oh my god. His voice cracking. Oh, yeah. Yeah.
Oh my god.
This is so bad.
This is really bad. But it's still comical. Like,
no, I don't think so.
with parts of how it's being...
The bassy, like, piano and stuff.
Right. Yeah.
Like, that's more like, dun, 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 dun. It's not going to go well.
Right, but like...
If anything, Kimura's was the one that had the most comedy. And this just seems like his visuals are kind of comedic, but it's also just painful.
Right. Yeah.
I wonder if they're going to add, if anything, with regards to the comedy bit, though, is that he has not passed the thing yet. Or did he pass it already?
No, he did. And the things came out of the poop. So that's, that's why he's now checking all of his crap.
Right. Yeah. But like if it, did some damage or did something specifically internal that'll need to like recover from or something, Oh my god. Jeez.
That was unexpected.
Oh my god. This was just the episode of the L's.
Goes badly. Yeah.
Of the L's. Just everyone's
for days.
taking a really just fat hit here. Just is not good.
And some of them were funny, some of them were really serious.
Some of them were really painful to look at, and then others are like, oh my god, this could change this character's entire direction of their story.
Yeah.
Like Itagaki's, let's like spend almost...
I'm about to end this man's whole career.
Right, but like let's talk about Itagaki's. Like in a lot of ways, I feel like it's the biggest one here because Takamura's is more of a mechanical one.
Right, we know that he's still going to fight Hawk.
Yeah, he is going to fight Hawk. Like, there is no way he's not. But the thing is, he doesn't have to win this preliminary match in order to fight Hawk. That's not something that has to happen, I believe. Because the other match is set in. I can go back and check in the episode, but just because it's a preliminary match, if it's scheduled, it's scheduled. It's not going to be like not done just because the guy loses this match.
Sure. Although even if he does win, though, it's something where this properly sets the stakes for how ridiculous it's going to be for him to try and fight Hawk in this state and maintain this weight for the 2 months, more or less. He might go up a little bit and then go back down, but that's going to be insane.
So
ridiculous.
Itagaki, though. Itagaki has been a character that was set up to be kind of the, hey, let's have a Miyata-style kohai that Ippo can then be the senpai of and give that little bit of inspiration, feedback, critical analysis, all the good stuff that Miyata was able to give to Ippo for that small brief period of time in which they were at the same gym together.
Right.
But in this case, Ippo has now transcended a lot of the places where Miyata was in, so he's able to speak from a place of, I would say, a little bit more like validity. Like there's this extra bit where he's the champion of Japan in featherweight and stuff like that.
Right.
So the words he's going to say are really going to hit Itagaki here. Itagaki ends up getting that rude awakening with regards to his black and white worldview with regards to boxing. And this is just a part of growing up, but it is such a harsh thing to experience for the first time.
Right.
Like, can you remember those times where you saw injustice at a level that really mattered to you personally in kind of a selfish way? Where it was something where everyone else was like, it'll be okay, you can move on, but you didn't want to move on. You were like, no, I had injustice done upon me.
Well, and
I'm angry,
And the worst part about it is that if it was something where Itagaki had a match where that happened, even if it was a fairly important one, that would still really suck.
Oh, yeah.
But this is the first one.
Yep. The first debut match in the pro ring. Yep.
That's going to be hard for him to move past.
Oh, my God,
it'll color his entire perspective of boxing from here on out, and maybe he'll be able to move past it. But hopefully, right? Ippo's words may have. I feel like they either put the nail in the coffin, or they'll be enough of a
saving grace.
Enough of a sort of a slap in the face after that rude awakening, in order to basically be like, "Hey, you can't just blame your environment. How are you going to respond to this? Because that sucks. That happened, right?
Yep.
It would have been great if that didn't happen, but it did.
Yep. And Ippo just fought a match recently where this was a factor.
Yeah.
This was a factor where, Ippo was getting basically the equivalent of, someone cheating on him. Yamada was very much putting the hammer down at specific points in ways that were quite dirty because he was desperate to win. He was very desperate. So Ippo doesn't really have a lot of, I think he has sympathy. But I think it's the thing of where he doesn't have a lot of tolerance to put up maybe some bullshit regarding like how, there's no fault of this. This is entirely not your fault. This is all their fault. Yes. Because Ippo's saying, well, no, I could have lost to Hammer now. I could have lost if I didn't want to be the champion.
Right. And if this is the kind of thing that is going to make it so that, someone does something that should be called a foul and you stop boxing to be like, hey, ref, did you caught that, right?
Yep.
Probably shouldn't be boxing with the pros.
Yeah, that's probably the harsh part as well, because a lot of our players that we've seen didn't have that experience. Like they didn't have something like this happen. Especially none of them had it probably on their first debut match. But even if they had it in a later point in their boxing career, we didn't see it in the show. This is the very first instance that we saw of cheating being this effective.
Right.
It's never been that effective. It's always been more of a struggle that Ippo overcomes and then ends up winning anyway.
Right.
So it's something where, in this case, now we see it working super effective, defeating them in the first round of the debut match of their pro career against someone who has never won a fight, who absolutely was cheating, where the referee not only didn't even see it, but didn't listen in the slightest to the appeals from Itagaki.
Yeah. And
Yeah, that sucks.
And in matches that are a lot closer, like say Volk versus Sendo, and then something happens that kind of shouldn't have, with like the more hometown, ref decision with the points, which they brought up again with Kimura here in more of a lighthearted way.
Right.
You at least have the consolation of that was a really good match.
Yes.
Right? And, maybe someone else should have won, right? But that's kind of what happened, right?
Yes, but that wasn't Sendo that caused the ref to make that decision.
But it was not Sendo that caused the ref to make that decision, so they were both doing their absolute darndest, right?
It was an honorable, integrous fight. Like they did their parts properly.
But instead, this is something where it's intentional from like your opponent.
Oh yeah.
And it's in something where your opponent, you're running circles around him. It's like it was almost laughable, the idea of like, oh, I have to fight this guy. Yeah, this isn't a problem. And then suddenly there you go. And then and then this is the part that I am so glad the show brought it up, because I didn't get this in the beach analysis like Ippo did, but I did get it in this match. What I was noticing was, based on how much this guy was exposing himself to counters, I was surprised with how little Itagaki threw counters. Oh yeah. But then when he did throw his counter, it was actually quite weak. Yep.
It wasn't refined in the way that Miyata's was, or in another way that Ippo put it, it wasn't as dangerous. The thing that made Miyata's counter so bloody beautiful was that he would put it right to the utmost, like the closest he could get to be like actually like driving this guy into the ground, whoever was his opponent,
right,
and nearly getting like his face taken off. So Miyata, he puts it all out on the line every single match. There's that hunger, that desperation, if you will, that's even shown in the individual punches. But Itagaki is like, he's kind of unwilling to maybe get a little dirty in that regard. Well, like he fights very clean.
Yeah,
as they described it.
One of the things that I also thought was kind of interesting, which is an element of him fighting clean, after he did that counter, he didn't knock the guy over.
He didn't follow
why didn't he follow up?
Yeah, you're right.
I mean, he felt he didn't need to, and in a normal situation, he wouldn't have needed to, probably, right?
Sure.
But that was a moment where the guy's standing there, his guard's totally down, he's not really responsive, He could have gone in there and wailed into him.
Yep.
And he would have been done. He would have totally been taken out, right?
Yep. And then the other part where he literally like ora the guy with an attack rush, basically. Those were a bunch of jabs and maybe some decent strength behind them for sure. But we never saw, that follow-up within those punches either.
Right.
So there's something to be said for where Itagaki might be needing to unlearn some habits that he picked up in the old way that he boxed in the high school kind of setting and stuff.
Because when it comes right down to it, it's pride. And he just got humiliated here, right? He got humiliated by the ref, by his opponent, by the crowd. And it feels like he got humiliated by Ippo.
That's a good point. Like, that's a really good point.
Which is the last person who would want to do that. But the thing is that in his situation, his pride is an issue. It's in the way, right? And it hasn't been an actual crippling problem until now. So he didn't have to deal with it, right?
Yeah.
Now he does have to deal with it. And if he doesn't, then he's just not going to box anymore.
Right.
But if he does deal with it, then he could be a great boxer, because then it doesn't become something of how dare this happen? I was a better boxer than him. I should have won. It's oh no, I'm a better boxer than this guy. I can. Yeah. Like,
I can lose on a fluke. That's totally
right.
Cool.
And even with him doing those illegal moves and stuff, I'm still good enough that I could have beaten him easily if I had been actually actively fighting and responding.
And then within that realization, again, still remember the humility in that fight, he was better than you.
Right. Yep.
Because those weren't fouls,
and maybe
because the ref didn't call them as fouls, which means in a lot of ways, no, you didn't lose because of fouls. You lost because you didn't want to win as much as he did, which I love as the idea that we're setting up the Hawks Takamura fight.
Sure.
Why do I keep calling him Hawks? Hawk.
Right.
Hawk. Brian Hawk. Yeah.
That hard end consonant.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Because of that, I think we're setting up for that kind of an idea where Hawk might not want to win as much as Takamura. But Takamura is going to have the negative of that his weight training has brought him to this place where he can't necessarily just win easily because he really wants to kill this guy.
Yeah. Like,
so we could get into a really unique situation where it's Takamura is just gonna be bloodied, messy, and just I'm gonna kill you. You know, like this. This just meaty, dripping blood, like reaper of death. That's like you insulted me, my teachings, and my entire culture.
right. Like I'm really excited for that Brian Hawk Takamura fight, but like. All the stuff that they did here for the buildup of that was just insane. Like there was the sort of tongue-in-cheek funny, but also like, oh god, you know, Takamura stuff,
the stumbling in the bear,
right, exactly. Outfit, you know, and it was on point with the pattern of this episode of just everything going badly for our main characters. But the idea that like, oh yeah, Brian Hawk brags that he once only trained 9 days for a match. Okay. All right.
Hey, awesome. Pride comes before a fall.
Right, exactly.
They're literally setting up another Pride character that can lose to someone that they should win, like 9 times out of 10 to. Like, that's where I'm thinking this is going to be, is that Hawk as a character is one that we're seeing him being the fully realized aspect of Takamura that is negative.
Right.
He doesn't take boxing as seriously. This is not who Takamura is, by the way. But this is maybe a dark alternate timeline of if Takamura was born in America, had all this raw talent, didn't work as hard because he got access to a lot of things that made it possible for him to just dominate junior middleweight.
And still having that super inflated ego, but maybe even more inflated than Takamura's.
Absolutely. Right. So Takamura can have that moment where he realizes, oh, if I beat you, maybe I'll deserve the title of world champion.
Well, and also
not just because I'm beating you, who is the world champion, but because I'm beating a part of me that might be reflected in the visage of you. I don't know. That could
also just the idea of taking that smirk that's probably going to be on his face and just sort of wiping it off with a fist, like that's
Also, I love how in the OP when we see them going up against each other, it looks like they just collide and then start a tug of war of sorts, like a pushing, just kind of two bulls like
punching each other's fists and kind of thing.
Yeah, exactly, exactly. It is kind of a little bit of a hint of like they're going to fight, but
just a little bit,
a little bit. Yeah. But that doesn't make this fight meaningless. This fight coming up here, the preliminary, it makes it something where Takamura needs to, I'd say in some ways, realize how desperate he's going to need to be in order to win the fight against Brian Hawk. And if he's not willing to do that here, because he's either maybe same ways like Itagaki, he's distracted and thinking about another match and another boxer.
That's
then
true.
He can take a beating here he might not even necessarily fully recover from.
Right, because
for the
recovery,
Hawk fight.
Because that's the other thing. It's not just keeping your weight low, but it's also recovering from whatever happens in this one.
Yep.
And since his body's starved, the recovery will probably take a lot longer.
Yeah, so every hit he takes here is going to be magnified out in December when they get into that actual match. Now, I really want this match to not necessarily be a super long, dragged out one.
Me neither.
But I would love for it to occupy the majority of the next episode.
Sure.
Because I think it will give time for Itagaki to have his kind of soul searching. And I would love to have that be the breaks within the tension of the actual Takamura versus the Filipino champion. I want to get his name and stuff here and what his accomplishments were, because I don't want to make it seem like we don't treat him as an actual combatant here.
Well, I feel like
the Filipino middleweight champion Morris West. Now, this is something that I'm actually quite curious about. Does that mean that Morris West here is also cutting to get down into junior middleweight?
Maybe.
Or is it more of just the fact that when they introduced Takamura, he's will now begin tonight's main event, a 10-round junior middleweight match, which
maybe
means
the
that
weight categories are slightly different in different areas.
I don't think so.
Because I looked up a list of like the weight categories. I don't remember them completely, but basically, depending on what location, or there were situations where there would be situations where it would be like a ton of different like weight classes,
Okay.
And then there would be like fewer weight classes. Like it wouldn't always be broken up into like, junior and things like this. And
That
all
makes sense. That makes sense. But I think because we're at the world stage here,
Sure.
they're using the metrics based on that.
Oh,
And if anything, then if it is something where the Philippines' middleweight champion translates to the world's junior middleweight, that's fine. But it also could be just as simple as like, when he fought and won for his country's
he was
fight,
in
the middleweight,
right?
And then
now he's at
he's
weight.
fighting in a junior
Sure.
middleweight match on the world
Right.
stage.
Yes.
So that's something where it could be just as simple as Takamura's down, a ton of weight,
6
and
or
this
7
guy's
weight classes,
and then this
yeah.
guy's just down one weight class. Like it's like, that's something that's reasonable.
Mm-hmm.
But I mean, hey, maybe there's an out there for Takamura in that. This guy's not. He's not at 100%. He's at 89%. Takamura might be at 11%, but it was like, I can use that.
That reminds me of that story that you told me about how when you were playing Dark Souls or whatever, and you tried to use like the super big sword, but you hadn't statted strength or anything, so you did like no damage with it, even though it's this giant weapon.
I also love the animation with Takamura stumbling around. Because it's both comical and painful.
Right.
There's this weird balance that I think can be struck when a comedy scene is one that's just all about a manner of perspective, or something where you're more laughing because it's a shocking image and you laugh to in some ways alleviate a little bit of the
to deflect a bit
awkwardness
from the
of seeing something kind of shocking, which is what we saw, because his face was maybe a bit comedic, Takamura's, but his body, no, I did not like looking at his legs. Do you want me to show you Takamura's legs?
No, I remember. And now granted, I don't think, in the OP, when he was squaring off against Brian Hawk, he didn't look like that. So I'm guessing this is also a bit dramatized for the effect of that they haven't seen him like this before.
But maybe that's also a thing where they're not trying to spoil everything.
That could totally be it. And maybe it's something where this is the result of him doing it poorly,
Sure.
and then the Chief's going to be like, okay, hold on. We have 2 months. We're going to do this right so that you're, actually in a decently good shape.
Oh my God.
But
that's genius. That's probably why they have this match. It's not just a selling, tickets thing, which it probably for the most part is. Mm-hmm. But the Chief is like, we need you to have a practice match at this weight so that for those next 6 weeks or whatever it is between, I think it's October and December when the actual fights are going on, that you're then maintaining, which means you can go up a few pounds, you can go up maybe 5 or 6, but then you're kind of wavering in between that area there.
And the show has said that that's not the reason for the 2 matches happening like that. But that is a silver lining potentially for it.
Right.
Yeah.
Yes, I know it's not the main reason. I'm saying it's a thing that the Chief is doing within regards to the meta of a world title match that is his first, opportunity at the world title, and things being so stacked against them. He's probably trying to help Takamura do it right. Takamura screwed it up, as I think Kimura literally comments that exact same thing of he totally screwed it up. And yet that means that just because he screwed it up here doesn't mean he's going to screw it up with the Hawk and Takamura fight.
Right.
So it's that. But
as far as
great episode though,
and as far as here's a fight, if you're actually going to show a fight when you're already building up the fight after it, right? Having something like this to be a way to, one, make it show that it's like ridiculously difficult for Takamura to be in this state, right? He's really nerfed, he's really gimped here. You know, then you can actually maybe have some conflict and tension around what will be the outcome of this fight.
Sure.
And the fact that it's done for a comedic angle as well helps sort of double down on that, because if it were to be just done normally of, oh no, we're scared, you know, will Takamura be able to, you know, like still fight or whatever? He'll probably still be able to fight, even if it's, you know, nowhere near what he would normally be at.
Right.
But it's just a fun way to help keep things fresh for this fight that normally, like, I wouldn't have been surprised if they just skipped past it entirely.
Yeah,
you know?
exactly. There's a level of unpredictability that's been added into the dynamic because we don't know if this is now a kind of a comedic thing,
right,
or if it's going to be just a horror show of Takamura taking so much pain.
Yep.
So, yeah. But I like how this all also is another little tie-in also to the fact that Miyata, I believe, went to the Philippines and fought there.
That's true.
So this is just another boxer from that arena there. So we might see some styles that are reminiscent of that fighter that Miyata went up against.
You know what I thought you were going to say?
What?
That it was also tying back to the fact that Aoki put the crustacean thing in his, you know, in the food, and now Takamura is going through his turds with a pair of chopsticks to make sure, oh god, I hope that nothing is in them still. And he's like, and I have to deal with this on top of the world, like the world championship match coming up.
I feel so bad for Takamura in that bit, because
and
it's
Aoki
like,
being like, oh god,
like his prank was so much more effective than he ever thought it could be. And Aoki doesn't want it to be, you know, that way. So
I was, you know, too hung up thinking about whether I could never stop and wonder whether I should. Yeah.
But y'all, thank you so much for watching this episode's reaction and discussion. If you want to see the next episode's reaction and discussion right now, though, go check out the link in the description below for our Patreon. You can get on early access there. You can watch full-length timer reactions there, and all this comes with Discord access, so you can chat with us and the community there about this show, about anime in general. You can also talk with Jacob about the sci-fi novel that he wrote.
That's right. I wrote a sci-fi novel called Battle Lines. It's super awesome, and it's on Amazon. The link is in the description.
Yeah, so if any of that interests you, we'll see you there. But until then, we're Semblance of Sanity. I'm Caleb.
I'm Jacob.
And we'll see you all next time.